Hey FlosTube, it's E, crafting in Colorado. I just wanted to get on here real quick. I have had several people ask for tutorials on how I grid my projects. There was a former YouTuber who I would always send them to get the tutorial from her. That person has since taken her video down. So I have done this. It's terrible quality, terrible quality, but I'm hoping that it helps different ones on how if they want to learn how to grid, that's fine. But I also want to please ask that if you don't grid projects, that's okay. You don't have to. I'm not saying you have to. This is just something that I personally like to do when I prepare my projects. There's no right, there's no wrong. This is just how I learned how to grid projects and how I basically prepare pretty much every project that I ever work on. So please, no negative comments. I hope this is helpful. And again, the quality is awful, but I hope this helps somebody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so for this tutorial today, I went out to the DMC website to try to find a free pattern so that I could share with you everything on this. This pattern, this cute little Asian girl with her little fan here, it's on the DMC website, and the pattern name is Girl with Fan. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've downloaded it into my Dropbox, and this is what the pattern looks like with the colored symbols. Personally, I have a hard time with colored symbols. It's just a preference, but I normally use Pattern Keeper when I stitch my full coverage projects, so I find that the black and white patterns are easier to follow along. What we will normally start with in trying to grid your project is we need to find the middle of your fabric. So I've got a piece of fabric here. I've taken it and I've folded. Here, let me move it here so I can show you. This is very generic. Okay, so I've got a piece of fabric here, and you could see you fold it once, that in half, and then you fold it in half again, and then that will help you to find wherever the crosses are here. That is the center of your fabric. Okay, so let's come back over here now, and I've got you on a little what is this? To hold dishes, a little plastic thing that holds dishes. So that's what you're sitting on. So here's your pattern. And when you look at your pattern, then you need to find where your center is on the pattern. So you've got arrows at the top and bottom, right there and right there, and then arrows on the left and the right. And when you come together, see, you go do 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 do. There's the middle that way, and then you go do 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 do, and so boom, right about in here is the center of your pattern. And of course, that's in the middle of one of the grids that we're going to do. Since it's off by just a little, let's just move it up over here by where her eye is, just for the sake of ease. And 5 or 6 stitches, that's not gonna throw us off much anyway. All right, let me try to, hold on. Let me turn you so that we can show you what the pattern looks like overall. Okay, I need to come in there and there. Okay, there we go. Actually, I'm gonna come down. There we go. All right, sorry for the technical difficulties here. So if you look, There we go. That's what I need. If we look at how many overall squares, and a lot of patterns, they will actually number 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And I'm not sure if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's not a full 10 going across. So that's 80. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 48. I would just make it up to 50. So we're going to make 5 squares, 5 blocks going across, and then going down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let me make this a little bigger for us all to see. And I'm going to put my glasses on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 48 by, what is this again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 55. 48 by 55. Let me write that down because I will forget. 48 by 55. All right, so there's where that's how many squares we will need to grid our pattern. Again, you count these, and the squares that we're going to be doing are just whatever these darker outlined squares are. All right, so I've got my fabric started so that you can kind of figure out where the middle of our pattern is, or on our fabric. Okay, and I've gone over and I've put a few little pins in, and let's try to see where we can get it so that why are we getting this? Okay, so I'm right smack. I tell you, I'm having difficult. I'm right smack in the middle of the fabric here, okay? And I have used pins. Here's the bottom middle, exact middle of our fabric. I have then counted over 10 dots or 10 squares, and I've put in a pin. So we've got our 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 going across, or we needed, 50 going across, and I will come back, and what I'm going to do is put the pins in for 60 boxes because our grid is 48 by 55. I will always just go over one box over. So I'll show you where that is when I come back. Okay, I changed out the fabric so that you guys can see the holes a little different. And this is an old scrap piece that I've had forever that I found in my stash that just happened to fit what we're working on today. And just note that I no longer use masking tape. So just letting you know. So when we looked at this the last time, we had our counting pins going along here. This one right here, I just flipped it sideways so that we could then count along this way. So we've got our count here for this overall project, okay, is 48 in width by 55 stitches in height, okay? So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, okay? That's for the 48 because we're not going to get to that 50th stitch. And then it's by 55, and so we'll have 60 boxes. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And this is what I do just to make sure that the fabric will fit the pattern that I am working with. I've made a note, or I've made a little tick mark over here on the top left. You can do it on whatever side that you like to start. Some like to start in the bottom left or the top right. You make I like to start in the top left. So I've taken this row of stitches all the way over there, and it matches from here. And so that's where our starting point will be when we start to grid our project. Okay, so let me take, you know, I'll come right back. I'll take these out. No, I'll just do it here real quick. I don't want to waste your guys' time too terribly much, but there's not that many pins in here, so we'll grab these. So because we know now where our starting point will be for this. All right, there we go. All right, and I usually use, and I'm not down to the bottom, I use Sulky Sliver. I get this at Joann's. It's a metallic thread, Sulky Sliver metallic. It's really wiry and it's kind of a booger to start to work with, but it's really easy to take out when you're of your project once it's done. So what I will normally do is I'll just kind of tack it down, and it doesn't have to be specific on anything. Oops, and you see it just slid right out there. So let's start this again. All right, so let me try it this way. All right, there, and I've got my little tail. So we'll just grab that tail. If my fingers would work. Okay, I got it. And we're just gonna kind of hold that tail and then kind of just tack this down. And it's all gonna get ripped out at the end, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, just kind of run this through a couple of times. At least this is what I do. And then what I might do is then go over the Sulky Sliver top to bottom just to make sure that it gets tacked down. All right, here we go. Because like I said, this comes out so easily that it can be a little frustrating. And let me make you guys bigger. There we go. And let me move up. That works a lot better. Okay, so let me pull that through. Okay, and that's securing it. And like I said, at the end of this, you're just gonna rip this all out. This is just for, you're kind of blurry there. All right, and I'll go down one more time, just in another hole. Okay. All right, and let me snip off this tail here just to get it out of the way. Okay, and there. All right, so we've got our little mark on our fabric, and that's just in pencil. I can erase it, or you know, this being full coverage, you can stitch right over that. And I will then start on the hole right to the left of it. So let's get in there so that you're not blurry. Okay, there we go. All right, and to start this, and I have my rubber finger on, this is what I use to stitch all the time. It just helps me push that needle through. So to start, we'll count 8 squares. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll go down. We're gonna skip 1 and come up in number 10. So we skip number 9, hole 9, and we come up through number 10. Okay, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go down. We skip one hole and we come up through number 10, okay? And we pull that through. And we're gonna do all the way across here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me move you over. 6, 7, 8. You go down. 1, 2. You skip one and come up on the number 2. All right. And let's do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go down through and come up through number 10. All right, so let's see how many of these rows we have. Lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're on our 5th one. Okay, and remember, coming back to our little note, we need 48. I'm not gonna go to the 48th, I'm just gonna go, because I like the 10 by 10 grids, and that's usually how your pattern is. So we'll do one more coming across here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, since we're at the end of the row, you see there, let me show you here. You see we've got the little X here, or the little square. There's the little square. I want to come up in this hole here because we're gonna start the row going down so that we can go and get to our next row and go back to where we were, okay? So this will make sense. We're gonna turn our fabric, okay? And we're gonna count to 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're gonna skip 2. Skip 1 and come up in number 2. And there you can kind of see that knot that was trying to knot. Okay, so this is good. This stuff is really, it's a booger. So let me see if I can't. Sometimes you can just pull it, just like thread. I just pulled it and it came out. So that's good. I'm glad that that happened. Let's hope it doesn't happen again though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Skip 1, skip number 9, come up in number 10. So I usually count. Let's do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'll count 1, 2, because we skipped that one. And we pull it through. All right, how many do we have? We have 3. We need 5. Oh, shoot. Dadgummit, I did it wrong. Hold on. Okay, I should have. Well, you can do that, but for this tutorial, that's not what I wanted. And let me rethread my, and did you see how I pulled that right out of the fabric really easily? Even when you have your stitches in there, it comes out really. What I'll usually do is I'll snip it and I'll use tweezers, and I'm able to pull it right out. So hold on, I'm trying to thread this. Thread my needle. Okay, I'm gonna come back because I want to come back down along with these. So, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I never said I was a professional at this. So, all right, we're gonna come up in this hole right here, catty corner. And I know that's blurry for you guys, so. Okay, and I keep bumping you, of course. All right, so there we go. We're gonna turn our fabric. And we're gonna count 8. 1, oh, and while I'm here, I wanna count to make sure that this is 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 squares going down. Okay, and that's what we want. We want a 10 by 10 grid. We're going to count to 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Skip 1, 2. Skip 2, come, and we'll come up. There, I'm off by a bit, but that's okay. But you can see that this is in the same close enough column there. If it's off by a bit, that's okay, as long as you got the general 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go down and 1, 2. I'm sitting on my leg and my foot's falling asleep. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go down and 1, 2. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2. There we go. Okay, we're at the very end again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at the end, so we're going to come up and through that hole on this, going diagonally, okay? And we'll pull that through. So now we have 2 rows done, but only a 10 stitches. So we'll come back and we're gonna do, we've got it sideways. We're gonna go through 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're gonna go diagonal because we're gonna go back up this way. Okay, so I think you guys get the gist of it. So let me go ahead and I will get off screen. I will finish this so that it's just kind of an S. Well, this is a backward S, you know, the snake method, kind of like Stitching Mommy does. And so let me finish all of this up, and then when I have my 5 rows, or no, I'm gonna need 6 rows because again, height-wise, I need 55 stitches, and we don't want to cut it off at the 55. We're going to count all the way through 60. So we're going to count those extra 5 stitches. So, or squares. So let me I'll come back when I have those done, and then this was the hard part. When you come back and you're going the opposite direction, it's real quick. So I'll be right back. Okay, I didn't get through it, but I did happen to get a knot, and this does happen every so often. So I wanted to share with you how I correct this, and this lighting is not great, so I'm sorry. This stuff is really slick. So what I will usually do, if I can't get it undone, I will just pull it all the way up to where my needle is, okay? This is just how I do it to save, because this stuff is expensive. It's like $6 a roll, and I try to get it when I use a coupon or it's on sale. So what I'm just doing is I'm holding this and I'm pulling, I've got the knot here, and I'm pulling it up to my needle, if I can find it. Okay, so I've got the knot next to my needle, and I'm going to snip this off, okay? Because I don't want to waste much of it, okay? So I'll take that, and we'll just get rid of that. And I might have to snip it again here. Let me make you bigger. That will help. Okay, can I get that out of there? There, I see a little dangle. So let's get our scissors in there and let's just snip that. There we go. Okay, I'm taking you off screen so I can see. Okay, so where are you? Okay, so my needle is clear. What I will usually do, and sometimes, and especially with larger projects, you're going to need to get more thread of this Sulky Sliver. So let me back you out again here. Let's see. Okay. So I'll pull this out, and I'm just going to grab another arm length here and snip it. Okay, actually what I might do, let's keep, I've got enough on my here. I don't want to grab that too soon because I will knot these. I knot the Sulky Sliver. I lost my needle here. So we'll come back to, okay, let me finish gridding this, and when I get to the end of this, I'll come right back. One moment. Okay, we're back. So we have, I'm going to show you this again. For the height or the length of this, we want it 55. So I'm rounding up to the 10th. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So we've got 60 rows here. All right. And I went through all the way and I finished here. You can start to grid back up along here. What I just did is I came, and let me move you. I just moved my, I just took it, the Sulky Sliver from here, and I pulled it up over here. So, and that's something else I wanted to show you, is you can see that there's consistently, the rows are stopping and starting, or the grid lines in the same rows all the way along. So if something, it looks a little off, you probably are off, and you can pull it out easily and start gridding. This is the easiest part here. So now we're going to grid in this other direction. So I'm just going to turn this, and you don't have to count. You've done all the hard part. You just come through, and I'm just going to show you. Here we're going to count to 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, it's one row before that other, or the stitching area here, and we go under and over and up through number 10. So now it's just real simple. You just come through, and you don't have to count at all. You just glide that right through and pull it out. And that is really where it goes. So the hard part is done. Now you're just, it's a piece of cake. We're just getting it through, and you'll have that center here on here. This is your starting point, and you'll always know that that's your starting point. And the reason why I like this too, especially for like full coverage projects, is I can stitch right on top of these, or I might pull out, I might stitch, and you can just move that grid over. And say you're working on a really large piece and you kind of get lost, you can still see where your grid is. Okay, so I'm getting down close to the end of my Sulky Sliver, and I wanted to show you what I do. So we've already got this row here, so I'm just going to move it all the way up to this next hole. Hang on, I'm gonna have to pull this through. There we go. And let's find where that hole is here. My lighting's not great, so hold on. Okay. Come right back in, and I want it in this hole. Boom, right there. That's where I want it, and I'll pull it up. So, and here's the back. You can see the back. I just drug it right along here. You can see, and this is the one row that we just did where we didn't even count. So that's how it will be on all of these. But what I wanted to show you now, let me zoom you out a bit, is I'm at the end of my Sulky Sliver, okay? Because we cut that off, and of course it's knotted again. So let me cut this off again. Here. All right, and it's on my needle. Let me take it offline. I gotta get close with my scissors to snip this. All right, so that's off. Let me put that up on a magnet here. All right, so what I will usually do, just for ease, because I don't want to go back over to it, especially with like a large HAID, Heaven and Earth, or another full coverage project. You don't want to go find an end, and you don't want to have it to do this, to kind of tack it down. So I will knot this, and let me get my two ends here together. Okay, I'm licking my fingers. And we'll just pull this through. I don't think I can do this on camera here. Let me make you bigger here so I can try to see. That's not helping. Let me just make a knot. Off so that all right, and I will usually make 2 knots. I'll just do it once, come through. Just trying to find my fingers through this, through the phone. Okay, so I have 2 knots on here. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll pull them so that they kind of, because this stuff is slippery. I'll pull it here, and on each end, I'll pull it there. So then, oh, of course it broke. It rarely breaks. But did it break okay? It did. How about that? Okay, so here, okay, so here's my knot. There's my knot right there. And I have this little tail, and I'm gonna just snip the tail off. So there's gonna be just a little dangle. Okay, get that out of there. And now we can just continue going. Make sure not to have your needle on this side of the knot. Ask me how I know. I've done that one too many times. So, I'm gonna thread the needle again. Okay. And we're just gonna come back up. And again, it's just this simple. Just go right through this, 1, 2, and pull it through. Now, you're gonna have your knot, and it just slid right through, no problems. It has like a little snap when it goes through the holes. This is, I think this is 14 count Ada. So I usually stitch with 20 count. So let's do this. Let's pull it through. And we're gonna have the knot. There's the knot, pop, pop, and it came right through. So then you don't have to go and find the corner, and because I have had to, you know, tack down the Sulky Sliver in the middle, and it just makes it hard to stitch. So yeah, this is it. This is how I grid. And let me come out and let's just finish this row here. Okay, you can see that. And here's one more. And we don't need to, we're at the end, so we can stop right there, pull this through. There was my knot. And I'm gonna come over where am I? I'm going to come over right where this little, it's gonna be like a T. There we go. And you pull it through. And we still have our knot there, you can see that. But let me zoom back out. So, should we just finish this off? Let's do, just for grins to say we could do it. I'm gonna make you zoom in again. Okay. Come right in here, 1, 2, and pull it through. There you see our knot. And okay, 1, 2, and pull through. And yeah, so I have in the past used, especially for full coverage projects, I have used those friction pins just to help me with the lines. And of course it came off my needle again. But I have used the friction pin just to help me know which rows I'm supposed to be stitching on. And that helps a lot. I have used that pre-gridded fabric. And you might say, well, why are you gridding on top of gridded fabric? Well, I like to see where I'm stitching, especially again with larger projects. If I get off someplace, it will help me to find my place. And with this gridding, yes, this is taking time. And this is a terrible tutorial. I know it's terrible. The lighting is awful. My commentary is awful. But, and it does take time to do this. In the long run, it makes me stitch faster. I stitch so much faster. I make less mistakes. I can zoom through, and you know, this is my preference. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's whatever you like to do to help you with your stitching. Again, everybody has their own way of doing things, and I'm not saying that it's this is just my preference. And again, I'm in accounting. I'm deal with numbers all day, every day. The last thing I want to deal with is numbers more than 10. Because I'm usually dealing with hundreds of thousands. And so this just helps me. Yep. And I like it. So if you don't, please don't be negative on this. Again, everybody has their own preference, and I'm just going to tack this down. If you don't like to grid, that's okay. Maybe you like to do diagonal stitching, or maybe you like to use, you like to park. You know, I don't particularly care for it, but I'm not going to be negative in how, so I've gone through that. I'm tacking this down, and then I'm going to go through those a couple of times just to make sure that I've got this squared up. But there we go. And we'll do it a couple more times. Just for grins. And again, this doesn't hurt your fabric. I've said it numerous times. You can pull this right out, and I'm gonna knot this. And there we go. So, all right, let me zoom out. There is our stitched piece. Again, our numbers were supposed to be 48. So I think I've got this, we started it up here. So 48 by 55, 10, 20, 30, 40, and then it would be 48. So your pattern will stop right along here, which that's okay. You can have 2 empty rows by 55. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and your pattern, your stitching will end about halfway through. So I hope this was helpful. Again, the lighting is awful. This is why I don't do Stitch With Me's. I am not good at sharing and teaching, but I've had so many ask on how I grid, and the person who I initially would always point them to, she took her video down. But I do want to say thank you to Jennifer Apodaca. That's who I used to always refer everybody to. I don't know why she took it down, but I appreciate what she taught me. And if you learned something from this video, give me a thumbs up. And thank you for your time. And again, please be positive, and hope you all have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.